here now. Awesome task said YouTube's working great. Andersino's dropping some firefighter GIFs. Yeah, I I titled this one Firefighter AMA because we've been putting out fires on every front. It's been pretty wild. Just with the amount of things we're dealing with. I've been talking to a lot of people I know about everything that's been going on, and it's like usually we deal with stuff like this like a few times a year. You have these kind of issues that come up. But lately it's been like every single day. I feel like since the beginning of this year, we've been just dealing with like catastrophic problems. Um, so it's been pretty crazy to deal with all the things that have been coming our way. But that's why I title it firefighter, because I feel like I have become a full-time firefighter. So just constantly putting out every fire you can imagine. Um, but we keep making progress, not only on putting out fires. Hopefully you guys, I'll actually drop a link. If you guys didn't see the blog post from yesterday, I'll drop a link to that right now in the threadcast. But one of the fires that had come up, about it was on Tuesday, actually, right around. So if you guys were here for the AMA on Tuesday, you could probably tell I was extremely distracted. Right around the time of the AMA, we got some notifications that some people were saying that the login methods, may have a security vulnerability, in essentially in the way that we design them. And, there's different ways to design login methods. And, essentially it was just said in various Hive chat rooms that people didn't like the way that we had integrated it. It took a little bit of the risk away from the user, and it put the risk on the network or the server, structure that we had. Let me first say a disclaimer that there were no security leaks. There were no hacks of any kind. Nothing was, lost or stolen or whatever. So this was all preventative and proactive on our part. But in a few different chat rooms, people essentially just said, the Inleo signup methods aren't, as secure as they think they should be, and they're built in a way that they didn't agree with. So, um, you know, while I think there's some trade-offs to both, and I can see, both sides of the argument, I'm fully willing to take in feedback and say, well, if it's, and obviously this is Web3, so people are going to tend to prefer more, even if it's less secure, they're going to prefer that the user be at fault if anything happens. So we essentially changed the login and sign up structure a little bit, to require a PIN code, and also to have local storage instead of it using a cookies session creation. So without getting too technical, essentially we just moved the way that you sign up and log in to Inleo, from being like a cookies session to being, a kind of network based login, to being a local storage or like local to your browser login. So it puts the risk matrix more so in your local browser, instead of to the Inleo servers. So Andersino said, so we who used LeoAuth should not be worried. No, you shouldn't be worried. There was no leak of any kind. And also nothing, and the comment that kind of started all of this was Inleo is storing your keys, which is not true. Inleo has never stored your keys, and we never will. The way the signup method worked is that your keys were used to initiate a session to log into the site. And essentially there is a potential vulnerability called like a middleman, where essentially someone could try to interrupt that connection and steal your keys. There were no keys that were leaked. So, and no keys were ever saved in that process. So, now that we've changed this process, there is no previous data that could have gotten leaked. And there's no saved data. So, like I said, this was all proactive and preventative. Nothing was lost or leaked. And you shouldn't be worried if you used LeoAuth in the past. By the way, another disclaimer, and I see Tasks comment. He said people should be logging in via keychain. That is something that should be stressed to each person. So, each login method has its own security vulnerabilities. And we're talking specifically about LeoAuth and Keystore. So this doesn't affect Hive Keychain, for example, as being another login method. The reason why Hive Keychain offers a lot more security than other login methods is because it's an extension, which means that your keys are living in a sandbox environment on that extension. as opposed to living in like your local storage inside of your browser. So it offers more security to have that set up. Um, that being said, and I talked about this in the post, most people want when they first sign up, they're not going to want to, go out and download Hive Keychain and learn this whole new extension in order to literally just make one thread. Like, most of these people that are signing up or that we want to sign up to Hive, we need to give them a really easy experience, especially from the beginning. Give them a really easy way to sign in, a really low bandwidth way to sign in, and then allow them to make a thread, make some comments, make a blog post, earn a little bit of Hive, HBD, and Leo, or Dash or whatever they want to earn, and get like hooked on the platform a little bit. Like you don't hook someone in by trying to sell them the entire thing. I forgot where I heard this, but you don't walk up to a girl in a bar and just ask her to go home with you. There's some banter that happens first, and that is, building rapport with the person. So it's no different when you want to get someone to sign up to Hive. You need some method of kind of hooking them in and getting them interested in the platform before you can take them the next step and say, okay, well, you're signed in with something like Keystore or, LeoAuth. There's more secure and better methods of logging in that, by the way, can also get you access to a lot of other Hive apps. And then, we sell them on Hive Keychain. We say, hey, like you can download this extension and you can, put your seed phrase from your Keystore into the extension, and that will allow you to sign in, to Inleo and other Hive apps with a more secure environment and kind of more connectivity in general. So I think it's uh, I think it's really important to have different sign up methods with a spectrum of ease of use, ease of access, and security. So all that we've ever tried to do is build more types of login methods and sign up methods to entice new users to come into Hive that may not look at something like Hive Keychain and say, "Hey, I'm going to go out and download this whole extension and then and then learn this new blockchain," which who knows if what they're claiming is even true. Like, I know we try to sell people on Hive with like fast, free transactions and being able to earn on your content, but you have to remember that we as Hivers, like we already know that all of this stuff is true, but most people out there in the world, especially in crypto, are extremely skeptical. So, selling them on something that they've never seen before is a very hard thing to do. So my opinion and my approach has always been, make it as easy as possible, make it as simple as possible to get them in and making a couple threads, making a couple blog posts, and then once they kind of get familiar with the platform, then you can start to teach them more things. You can say, okay, it's kind of like that drip model of teaching people things. You say, okay, well, there's this Hive keychain thing. Here's why it's more secure. Here's why it's better. Here's why I could connect you to other Hive apps. And then, you obviously progress from there. And then they become more, of a full-time Hiver. If you guys try to reminisce on how you originally joined this blockchain, I would venture to guess that you didn't just immediately get to Hive and with on day one you went out to every different app that was out there. You signed in, you made a video, you made a blog post, you made a thread, you made a short, you voted on proposals, you voted on witnesses. Like there's no way you did all of that on day one. So you joined from something enticed you enough to say, I'm going to learn what this is. You joined the blockchain. And then over time, you became more and more familiar with different things. And one thing I've experienced on Hive, which I'm sure many of you have, is, kind of this continuous learning. Like you almost like learn about a new thing that's related to Hive, almost every day or on a regular basis. So there's so many onions to peel back, or so many layers to this onion to peel back over time. And, expecting a new user to just jump straight into the deep end is not how you're going to get, mass adoption. So yeah, you need to drip feed people more information over time. And I think having more login methods is a good thing. That being said, user security is my number one priority. So if we have any capability or capacity to make it more secure, while still offering a functional and easy to use user experience, that's obviously going to be something that I approach it with.